Hi guys, this is AC Gamer back with another video on Brown Doors 2. Now in today's video, I can't stress enough, this is an important video because I will be teaching you guys how to farm UR gear as fast as possible, how to get the resources required, and how to get the XP required to level up the character's ability to allow you to start crafting UR gear as well. This is simply important because you don't want to make the same mistake I've made. Now, this is going to be a collection of stuff I've also talked about in previous videos, but I'm going to bring it all together in today's video to go over the best way to farm or best way to progress and start building UR gear as fast as possible. So hopefully you guys find this video helpful and overall useful. If you guys don't want to miss out on future content on Brown Doors 2, then hey, subscribe to the channel. I have more content coming out for the game, and if you guys enjoyed this video or found this video helpful, then go ahead and like the video. Let's go ahead and improve our relationship because I am bringing out a lot of important information that will help you guys out. So the least you can do is go ahead and like this video, and let's try and reach 50 likes for this particular video. This is our like goal. Many of you guys have been showing your support whenever I do this stuff, and a lot of people have been showing support with beating their like goal. So I'm absolutely excited to see how far we can smash this new like goal, 50 likes. Okay, let's get right into the main way to farm UR gear. So I'm pretty sure you already know how to get UR gear. You go over to ability, you go over to the gear crafting, you go over to here and you can see UR gear available. There's a lot of UR gears, blah 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 blah. One thing you should know about UR gear is the fact that the main stat or the basic stat is already known, and it isn't like the other gears where it says random, which essentially makes you want to pull and start building UR gear because it makes it easier to start fitting your characters with the best gear as fast as possible. Now, one main tip I will just say straight away: forget SR gears for now. For now, forget SR gear and just focus on building R gears. Even if you don't need any new R gears, the fact that you need to upgrade or get more XP for this character's crafting ability, you just keep building R gear. It's a lot easier than trying to build SR gear and get the XP that way. Honestly, it will give you a lot more XP if you build R gears and you push as far as possible. Now, obviously in the future you want to pull, obviously in the future you want to get SR gears because of the collection purposes. So if I go over to home, collection purposes over here. So with the gear, you want to obviously try and get all this gear so that you can increase your overall collection buff. But for now, if you want to get UR gear as fast as possible, you've got to ignore SR gear. Now, one thing you should know with your character for crafting, just easier to just go with Layla for crafting instead of this character. Forget him. So just use this character and you are good. Now, when you're trying to farm resources, how are you going to be getting the resources to get to build this gear? Well, obviously this is just working towards UR gear, but you need to clear this like huge landmark which I am currently stuck in, which is not being able to actually craft UR gear. Now, if I was doing it appropriately and right, I would have been able to farm UR gear like 3 days ago, but I've been playing the game relatively wrong, and that's why I've technically screwed myself. So if I go over to my Layla and I'll show you the current XP I have, you guys are probably in the same position right now because it does take a lot of XP to be able to upgrade her to legendary so that you can start crafting UR gear. This is easily obtained from the let me show you, item section, Evil Castle shop. I recommend using that, going over to Evil Castle shop instead of going into the other shop, which is wait, let me show you right now, Golden Thread. So instead of using Golden Thread to buy this, just go over to the Evil Castle, a lot easier. Anyways, as you can see from the amount of XP I require to actually start being able to craft UR gear, it is a lot. Now, how am I going to be able to push this as fast as possible? Like I said, start building R gear. Now, the resources you require, I'm pretty sure this is what you guys are focused on. How do you start farming for the resources you require to build the R gear first of all? Well, there is one new feature that I figured out. I've already made a separate video on that. That video should be out already, but you need to go into, it's going to be a grind, guys. It's honestly going to be a grind, and honestly you might get burnt out a little bit. So if you don't want to get burnt out of the game, you might not want to try this method. But like I said, this is how to get fast UR gear. So essentially you want to go to every single one of this chapter story pack every single one of the character pack, there is 2 maps, which is the ones with the chest that you can go inside the map and use this specific ability skill known as search. You press search and it will show you specific places where resources are. Now the resources you're looking for, as you can see, the search find, there's 4 out of 6. That's how much I've done so far today. And if I'm not wrong, this resets every single day. So every single day you go in there, get all the search finds, and if you want to know what you can get, this is it. So the search finds, you could get gold ores, copper ores, hardwood, plain fabric, plain leather, peats. All of this stuff are items you require to craft. So craft gear, and essentially you get about 40 or over, a little bit over 40, which is without stamina, by the way. Without stamina you can get that, and alongside that as well, you're also able to get gold that you require to craft by just finding the little mobs in the map as well. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone by, setting your routine appropriately. I might make a separate video going over your daily routine because it's going to be essentially important. But you can go into each map, go to the first, the maps with the chest box for each individual maps, go in there, use a search, and you will get items for crafting gear. You get a lot without stamina. A lot of people don't know about this, but it's simply important. It refreshes every day if I am correct, and that's ways to get a lot of gear items. Now another thing you need to do is clear content. You need to push as far as possible with your story packs, and I don't only mean normal stage, I mean like hard, very hard. You might be stuck at very hard or hard for certain story. Just go ahead, get XP, use your R gear. Like I said, if you're building R gears continuously, you eventually start getting R legendary gear, which will be good. And obviously you get that to +9, and now you should be able to farm relatively easy with no issue. Obviously get your characters to the appropriate level, but just push as hard as possible or far as possible. And the reason why you want to do that is because you can actually change the difficulty of your hunting, and once you change it to the highest one, you get a lot more resources, and that helps with your farming because you use the same amount of stamina but you get a lot more resources. So currently in chapter 7, this is where I farm to get ores, and essentially I haven't cleared hard, but once I do, I will get a lot more resources that I do from getting farming normal stage. And right now I actually get, if I go over to chapter 2, I'm able to farm as much, I'm able to do very hard, and I get a lot of resources as well. So that is extremely important to do. You get through content, do very hard or hard, and you get extra rewards or extra drops, and that is fantastic. Just keep farming that R, and eventually you will be able to level up your character crafting ability to farm UR gear or to create UR gear. Now you have to be specifically picky on the type of UR gear you're going for. If you have a character, actually focus on your main damage dealers, the ones that need attack or crit damage, the ones that need the skills of just pure attack, and the ones that skill of like crit rate or unique skill crit rate. Just build the gears for your damage dealers first of all, because before you have UR gear, you probably will be stuck at some very hard story chapter or story stage, and you're going to need obviously better gear. And once you start building UR gear, you're aiming for the perfect base stats and sub stats, blah 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 blah. So, and obviously the only really thing that will hinder you from building UR gear is this over here. Ancient crystals are only obtained from two places, actually one place, that is the arena. Well, it's not like you're getting ancient crystals every single day, so the only thing that will limit you from creating as many UR gear as you would like is this. So right now I only have 20, so that means I can only build 4 UR gear. But the resources you require, all of these resources are nearly the same resources you require, the same amount of resources required to build the SR ones. So honestly, don't build SR gears. Don't worry about SR gears. Build R gear. Skip the SR. Eventually, you want to build SR gears for the collection buff, but then you skip over to UR gear and you have yourself better gears. That is essentially the best way to farm for UR gears, the best ways to get UR gear as fast as possible. Now I'm going to prove it to you, because tomorrow this is going to be my main goal. You saw my current stage I am in right now. I am unable to farm UR gear, but I will be pushing UR gear as fast as possible. Oh, obviously, one more thing guys, With the recent changes they've done to stamina, I highly recommend buying this. My personal goal right now is to prove to you that this method works, so I'm going to be grinding hard 2 days straight. I'm going to be buying cooked rice a lot. The cooked rice stacks, fortunately, which is fantastic. So I'm going to stack my cooked rice, do a bunch of farming for the crafting materials, and push to start farming UR gear within the next 2 days. Give me 2 days and I'll start crafting UR gears, and I'll show you that this method works. It is going to be hard work because, like I said, this is one of the few rare gacha games that actually makes you play the game. Many gacha games just say auto skip. Well, you're technically autoing, but like you actually have to be in game. The farming is essential to actually progress in this game. There's a lot of ways to get the items. It's grindy, definitely grindy, but it isn't too hard. So I'm going to spend the entire day tomorrow. I'm going to farm out entirety of this. I'm going to push my story content. That is my main goal, first of all, actually, to push far in my story so I can then get better drops. Right now with the stamina, if you know you can clear it hard on very hard for certain maps, for certain packs, but you're farming normal because you haven't completed hard and very hard, so you can't start farming in that section, make sure you just push the story, get the ability to start farming hard and very hard. You can stack up all your cooked rice. It doesn't go away when the reset happens, so that's fantastic for you guys. And then once you are able to farm hard and very hard, then use all your stamina, use all your stamina, your rice, to then start farming. Now, to make sure your farming is good and you don't have your characters dying, obviously cook some food. So I think the easiest one for me to cook is this one because I have a lot of item. You're going to need a lot of ability pills, by the way. So get gold. Gold is key. So the way to get gold is, right now the gold required for certain stuff is quite low, and like I said, we're building the R gears and you're upgrading it to +9. It doesn't cost that much actually with the gold, so don't worry about that. There's also a trick to get extra gold. I have made separate videos on that. Essentially, like I said, I'm putting all the video ideas, all my videos, into one separate video to show you guys that this is how you should be farming, getting resources to finally be able to build UR gear. And it is a lot of grinding. I'm going to do it within 2 days, start able to farm UR gear. I might even be able to do it within tomorrow, so stay tuned for my update video on building UR gear. That will prove that this method works. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, stay tuned for more content on Brown Dust 2. If you guys don't want to miss out on future content on this game, make sure that post notification is on. And hey, let's reach that 50 like goal for this video. It's been your boy AC Gamer, and I'm out.